Hello, Tom Stapleton here from the Wakefield Community Access Television Station. And today we have a guest here that we have never had before. And I think it's going to be very interesting because in our previous talk here, before he came here, we talked about a lot of things. His name is Michael Pfitzer, and he is the Wakefield Choral Society Director. Nice to meet you, Michael.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good. So this is interesting to me because I know very little about this subject. So what is the Wakefield Choral Society?
So Wakefield Choral Society is a community chorus that meets at the Wakefield High School on Monday evenings. We have one semester of activity in the fall and one in the spring. And it's a group of people who all get together because they really love singing. That's basically at the heart of everything we do. The only requirement for being in the group is that you can carry a tune. And that's sort of the way that we phrase it to everybody. So there's no requirement that you need to be an expert singer or know how to sight read music or have lots and lots of experience singing in choir. We're just all there because we love the community and we love our music, the kind of music that we make in community together.
How many members do you have?
Our membership varies a little bit from concert to concert, but we've had anywhere from about 40 people who sing with us to 55 or so. And we have members from all different age brackets, lots of different locations around the area, a pretty good diversity of experience and life history for our singers.
Do there other members outside of Wakefield that come to this choral society?
So even though it's called the Wakefield Choral Society in name, it's open to anybody who can drive here. So I live in Medford, for example,
okay.
But it's open to anybody who's from any part of the state where they feel like they can get to Wakefield for a 7 o'clock rehearsal on Monday night. Any person, yeah.
Do you have to be a trained singer?
Definitely not.
Yeah,
you don't have to be a trained singer. In fact, we have a couple of people in the chorus now who came to me last year and said, I've never sung before in my life, and I would really like a chance to try it out, just something that they wanted to try. I'm a big believer in the idea that everyone can sing, whether you have experience doing that or not. And so I just encourage people to give it a shot. You never know. Most of us have sung a note in our life, whether you're singing along with the radio or singing in the shower. And unfortunately, sometimes people tell us that we shouldn't be singing or that our sound isn't very good, and we get that stuck in our head from the time we're really young. But it's often not the case. It's just somebody's opinion of what you did.
You said earlier that all you have to do is carry a tune.
Yes.
And you probably find that out pretty quick, don't you?
Yeah.
What's the process for that?
So we generally just have people come in. There's no audition or anything like that. We just have you come in and sing with your section. If you don't know what section you are, that's fine. We can work with you to make it work. Basically, whether you sing higher or lower helps determine your section. And then people come in and sing along. And generally, we do things in our first couple of rehearsals where we'll very slowly go over a part and have people sing it. And this has not happened to me at all in my time with the Wakefield Choral Society, but if we're asking you to sing a note and it's really not lining up very well, I would ask you to come talk with me and we would just work on finding pitches together.
Okay.
And if for some reason that was really difficult for you and you weren't going to have a positive time trying to do that all year, we could talk about that. But otherwise, you know, anybody who wants to come sing is welcome to join us. Yeah.
Well, that sounds good, and I know that I thought I was a pretty good singer too. But
yeah,
when I sing, it's like the radio's on. I sound great.
Yeah.
It says, well, let me turn down the volume a little bit. And then I listen to myself. Oh no, it's not that great. I hit that note, you know, and no, I didn't hit that note.
Well, it's one of those things where. You know, if you do something over and over again, you practice it, you can get better at it. And so that's the thing. People, if you're learning a musical instrument, nobody would just pick up a bassoon, for example, and say, oh, I'm going to play this now, with no training at all. Or if you tried to and you couldn't really make noise, you wouldn't say, oh, I'm so bad at bassoon. You would just say, I have no experience. For singing, because we all make noise with our voice, we sometimes feel like even though we have no experience or training or we haven't really practiced it, we feel like we're bad at it in some way. Yeah. And that's something that, for me professionally, I'm really trying to get people to stop thinking. It's not that you're bad at singing or that you don't, you don't have the possibility of getting better. It's just probably that you're inexperienced or that you might not know entirely the right things. There's all kinds of reasons why people might not sing an exact note that they hear. And the last one is that you can't do it. Most of them are, you need a little practice or help in figuring out how to do that.
And then as they work closer to it, they say, oh yeah, they feel better about how they're going.
Yeah, and once you get a little confidence, it sort of snowballs. So we have lots of people with just that kind of experience who maybe weren't so used to singing on their own. They come to chorus, they sit next to a bunch of people who are singing the part with them. We practice every week trying to get our parts right, but also to have fun and learn something new. And by the time the concert comes around, you're making a great piece of music with 40 friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of music does the group sing?
So the Wakefield Choral Society has a tradition of doing a holiday concert in Decembers every year. Yeah. So usually in the fall, we do preparation for a holiday concert, which involves some Christmas songs. We typically do a song that's connected to Hanukkah in some way, which generally falls around the same time as our concert. We also, in the fall every year, do a concert or we sing as part of a ceremony for Veterans Day. So this year, Veterans Day, November 11th, is on a Saturday, but there's always something at the middle school that involves some veterans, a speaker, typically some groups from the middle school, and also the Wakefield Choral Society. So we'll prepare 2 pieces to be sung for Veterans Day. And then in the spring, our repertoire can really be anything. So we do a number of different pieces that are interesting to us, that I think pose a challenge, but will be something that we can accomplish and do in a good way. But that could be any music from, early Renaissance music. We haven't done too much of that, but we could do a little, all the way up through pieces that have just been written fairly recently.
Speaking of Veterans Day, which has happened in the past for this year, I believe we recorded that. We were there.
Oh, great!
With not only with you, but the whole ceremony.
Yes.
The word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And you were singing. Your group was there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did record
typically
that.
at the middle school in that new auditorium there. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. We had 3 cameras on there. We did. It was a good
Beautiful.
job. Really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really important event for us to be able to connect to the community.
Yeah.
To be able to connect with our veterans, and often the ceremony happens in the morning on Veterans Day, so with an attempt to line up with that 11/11 armistice signing time. And so it's not a time necessarily where all of our members will just be free. Even with some of our employers are not giving that as a holiday too much anymore. But we've had great attendance with the Wakefield Choral Society because people recognize this as an important opportunity to be a part of the community, to give something back, and also to support the veterans community here in Wakefield.
Where do you hold your practices? Where do you rehearse?
So our practices are at the high school.
At the high school.
So we're just in the choir room at the high school, which if you're facing the building is sort of off to the right.
Oh, yes.
Almost all the way down to the end by where the music department is.
Yeah.
And rehearsals are at 7 o'clock, and so typically people show up a little bit before that. We have a great board for the chorus that helps to run the organization, and they get all the music ready, and they sign people in, and they do all of that kind of stuff, so I don't have to worry too much about it. And then we get all set up, and people come between 6:45 and 7, and then we start.
To rehearse there. That room is familiar to me because when Dr. Kim Smith was running the musical program back many years ago, I remember she was in there. She did a wonderful job. She just, scored really high points every time with the band and everything.
Yeah. That's great. And the music program at the Wakefield High School is really fantastic.
It is.
If you have a chance to ever see some of the work they do. In fact, the a cappella group, the student a cappella group, comes to sing with us at our holiday concert. So they do a couple songs, and then they'll sing with us at the end, which is a really great part of the performance.
She major? Is that affiliated with you at all?
I'm not sure. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that. I think it's a different one.
Different one? Okay.
But it's the group that Anna leads, the choir director there, leads with a few of the students.
Okay, I know a group that
They've won a couple of awards for their great work, and they really bring a wonderful energy and enthusiasm to the concert. So again, part of being a part of the community here in Wakefield, we try to involve as many groups as we can.
Well, you know, we've been going on here and everything, and why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you got involved in this? Because
Sure.
It certainly sounds like you're invested, and I'd like to let them know a little bit about that.
Sure. So I decided that I wanted to be a conductor when I was in college. I had the opportunity to get to work with my college choir and try it out. I always knew I loved music from a very young age. And I was the kind of little kid who would run around the house singing songs, and my parents always sang to me. They were not professional musicians, but definitely music lovers. And they always sang songs with me, and I would sing along in the car for fun. I also knew that I really loved teaching. My father is a college professor in upstate New York, and so I thought from the time I was in middle school I wanted to be a teacher. I found this great intersection between singing and music and teaching in the work that I do with community choruses and with students at colleges. So personally now, I work with a number of community choruses in the area. I work with a group called Voices of Metro West, which does more pop music. I also work with, I'm the choral director at Framingham State University. We have a chorus there that includes some students and some community members. And very much like the Wakefield Choral Society, that's open to anybody who wants to come. Actually, all of the groups that I work with are open to anybody who wants to come. That's an important part of it for me. I also am a music director at the First Parish Church of Stowe and Acton in Stowe, Massachusetts, out there in apple picking country.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So I work with the music program there. We have an adult choir, youth choir, children's choir, and an African drumming ensemble, a ukulele group, a whole bunch of different things out there. So I'm on leave from the position this year, but I also work with the choruses at Harvard University as the choral associate, do administrative work. Those are all student-run 501c3 nonprofits, so there's a lot to be done, and I sort of help with that as well. So.
Well, it sounds like you have a full plate there.
It's a busy schedule.
Busy, yeah.
But all the musicians I know, all the professional musicians, have all kinds of different jobs for two reasons. One, we love working in a variety of experiences. So it's wonderful for me on Monday nights to go see Wakefield, and then on Tuesday nights I go work with some students at Framingham and get that kind of different experience. And also because just the nature of the work that we do, working with community ensembles and community people, it takes sort of piecing together a few different things to be able to make your living and do this as a professional musician. So I don't really complain about that. It's kind of
challenging
nice for me.
at times there, but
it is. But it's a positive thing in the end, I think.
Now you have you had mentioned earlier that anybody who wants to come in, you welcome them, and you have some open sings available. Can you talk about that a little bit? So
this is one of the great things that the Wakefield Choral Society does, which is that our first 3 rehearsals of the semester are open sings. Means anybody can come, take a part in those rehearsals, and there's no commitment on your part. You don't have to pay any dues. You don't have to say, I promise I'm going to come to all of the rehearsals, even just to show up at the first one. You don't have to make a commitment to do something for a year to walk through the door. The idea is that you just come in, get to sit with us, get to sing with us, get to see what the group is like, get to talk to me about anything that you might want to know about. I could hear about your background. You could say, I'm a trained singer and I was in choir all through college, and then I took 10 years off and now I'd like to come back.
Right.
You could say, I've never sung before in my life and I'm 72 years old and I would love to try it out for the first time. You could say, I am just out of college and looking for a group that I could sing with. Or I just dropped the kids off at college and now I've got a little more time and I'd like to try it out. And you can come in and there's no commitment that you need to make. You just try out the rehearsal, you see what it's like for you, and we can answer any questions, and we go from there.
Do you have an accompanist for your rehearsals?
We do, yeah. So our accompanist is a fantastic pianist named Joe Beninati.
Oh,
and he plays for, also as a musician, plays for some other community choruses in the area, but Joe is a really big collaborative part of what we do with the Wakefield Choral Society. So this summer, Joe and I sort of tossed around some ideas for pieces that we might sing, for repertoire that we might do, and Joe is at all of our rehearsals helping us out. He'll hear that, you know, for example, the altos need a little help with one part, and he'll play that a little louder than the rest of the parts, bring that out. So it's a way to make our learning process pretty quick. If people can connect with Joe, then they can understand, you know, what they need to do to get a little bit better. And from an artistic perspective, I love having Joe as a colleague and collaborator because he's top-notch. So I don't have to worry about that at all. As the conductor, when you get to a concert and you know that your pianist is going to do a great job of supporting you, that's a really big piece that you don't have to worry about.
And that makes a lot of sense too, because when you hear a person like this, Joe, is his name Joe?
Joe, yeah,
Joe, yeah,
that's right.
Play like that, and I watch these people sometimes, and they make it look so effortless, like it just, you know, there's nothing to it, you know. And meanwhile, they're going this way and that way, this octave that way, and they're anticipating what's coming up, and they know that, like you said, they may have to go a little loud in one area. And their brain is just going like 100 miles an hour, and they just make, there you are, you.
That's exactly right.
You know.
Yeah.
And you get to appreciate somebody like that so much that. You know, you take it for granted after a while. Oh, Joe will take care of it, and I don't have to worry about that, like you said. So,
right.
But it's truly amazing to watch somebody who has that talent. It's really beautiful.
He does an incredible job of keeping all of those things that you mentioned together in his mind. So. Yeah, we try not to take him for granted at all. We try to tell him how much we appreciate all of his work, but he's definitely a big part of the chorus. Yeah.
Question now. Now, if somebody comes in new and starts working with you people, do they have to practice between rehearsals?
Yeah, so
what's that all about?
They do not have to practice between rehearsals, no.
Yeah.
Some people choose to practice between rehearsals. Okay. If they're in a situation where they feel like they could really benefit from listening to a song at home, or getting to the place where they are, you know, maybe they have a little piano skill, they can plunk out a few notes and prepare themselves for rehearsals. Some people find that makes the rehearsal process a little more enjoyable for them. Other people don't have any time at all. I might be in this case if I was singing in the chorus, and so they come and they learn in rehearsal.
Okay.
Rehearsals are definitely a place for learning. They're not a place for it to be perfect already with the Wakefield Choral Society. So that's sort of up to the individual singer. It's very rare that I would ask that people go practice a particular certain part. That might happen, you know, very occasionally, once a semester. Go practice this small part at home before next week, but it's pretty rare.
Do other musicians play along with the chorus and the performances and so on like that?
Yeah, so Joe plays for everything with us, but we also occasionally will have extra musicians come play. So this coming semester, we have a concert. Our holiday concert is on Saturday, December 9th at the AmeriCal Civic Center.
Yeah.
And at that concert, we're going to have a brass quintet. So 5 brass players coming to play with us on one of on a couple of our different pieces. They'll also play a few holiday pieces on their own. And that'll be a really great opportunity for the chorus, because getting to collaborate with other professional musicians is a really exciting thing that being a part of a chorus allows you to do. I mean, anyone could go sing any song that they wanted at any time. You know, you just start singing. But when you join a group like the chorus, you have an opportunity to do something like that, to work with some other professional musicians in a great sort of capstone concert. That's the idea.
So getting back to the open sings, talk a little bit more about that, when it's happening and how long they have to come in. And and be available for it?
So we have 2 more open sings this fall. So the first is September 18th, and the second is September 25th, both Mondays. So the rehearsals start at 7, they go until 9, and anybody who wants to come can come try this out. And like I said, no commitment from your end. It's just about coming and trying out and seeing what the chorus is like. All you need to do is show up. We have all the music for you. We have everything you need for the rehearsal, so we just need you to come and be a part of the experience. So yeah, so again, it's just at the high school. There's a little parking lot off, if you're facing the building, little parking lot off to the right side of the high school, where we tend to park and walk right in that door. If you're at the high school and you can't figure out how to get in or find us, if you wander around a bit and knock on some doors, someone will come to find you, or just listen for the singing. We'll have the windows open in September. Yeah, and then you just come and experience it, and you can talk with me or anybody in the chorus about your thoughts, and we just love to see as many people as possible come try it out. Every new voice adds something new to the chorus, and we love to have as many new people as possible.
I think that's a good point too, because the new people bring a different flavor to things. You can get into a certain routine, I would think, and then you bring a new person in that changes it a little bit.
That's right.
And not good or not bad, but I mean, you know, it doesn't get as comfortable. I don't know. Do you want to be comfortable when you sing, or do you want to be alert or something? I don't know. I have no idea about that.
Well, so I had a teacher one time tell me that comfortable was the scariest word in music.
That's a good point.
I guess that's a. I guess that, you know, in the way that's a scary word for everybody. That could be the case. So that said, I want to make sure that our singers feel confident in what they're doing, that they feel really positive about the experience, that they feel ready to go, like they've put in really good work and gotten a great result out of it. So I think, you know, there's something about that that's comfortable. The part that is different, or maybe not as comfortable, is we're always looking to grow, we're always looking to improve, we're always looking to try something new, and in that way we're trying to get out of our comfort zone. So new people really help us do that, and hopefully for new people that's the same thing happening on the other side of that equation, that somebody's trying something new. So my hope is that when people come to the Wakefield Choral Society, they'll find a home, they'll find a community for them in music making, and that within that community we can be reaching higher, trying new things, but also feel like it's a home or a home base for us. So the home base level of comfort is there. The not reaching higher level of comfort we try to move on from.
All right, so what do you like best about the group?
I love the personalities in our group. It's incredible to have the opportunity every Monday night to just get to spend 2 hours with the people in our chorus. And I think the singers feel that way about each other too. Everyone's there because they really like singing, but they're also there because they really like the social interaction, the community in that way, getting an opportunity to spend time with each other. And for me, being able to, as the director, being able to be among a group of people with such a really great positive attitude, a willingness to try new things, it is just a really fantastic way to spend a night. And I feel like I am growing and working with the chorus. I feel like the chorus is growing and trying new things, and we're all able to do that together in community, and that's my favorite thing for sure. You'll notice I didn't say anything about that, you know, perfect chord we sang in the middle of one piece. You know, I love the music. I love making great music, and for me, those things are a product of, you know, being together in a really great environment.
Well, like I said earlier, you're really invested, and you certainly have a goal that you probably won't reach. And that's a good thing.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. That's exactly right.
You're still going to, you know, go to that in that direction.
Yeah.
Well, it's been wonderful talking to you. I've learned so much, Michael, and I hope that people hear this and drop in and take advantage of some of the things that are going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to come talk about this and spread the word to the Wakefield community.
Yeah,
and
we will.
we'd love to have you come be a part of it if you're watching today. So
very good.
great.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.